If you look behind me, you'll see we got the 3D printers together today, both of them. If you recall my previous video, these were open box items that I had bought, and I wasn't sure if they would have all of the parts or not. One of them said it was incomplete, but it turns out both of them had all of the parts. I picked them both up for, well, they were 20 bucks each, so $40 for two, which was unbeatable. This video turns out a little bit choppy because my GoPro Hero 9 kept crashing out on me. It was overheating for some reason. I'm not really sure what was causing that. If any of you have any idea what that might be, please let me know in the comments. I would be greatly appreciative of it. If you find anything of value here, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'm new to making content, and as I get better, I'll bring you more valuable content. And also, if you subscribe, you'll get to follow me along this journey and watch me learn as I go along. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, if you missed my last video, I'll fill you in a little. I bought two Ender 3 Pros, Creality Ender 3 Pros. I bought them as open box items. One of them was one of them was labeled complete, meaning it had all of the parts in it, and the other one was labeled incomplete. Earlier, I put the complete, the one that was labeled complete together, and it had all of the parts, but they were all used. Everything had been used, and but I think it had everything. It had everything because I got it together. I think it was just missing a few things, like a few unnecessary items. It didn't have an instruction book, assembly instructions, or manual, anything like that. So, but this one has all of that stuff. And as far as I can tell, this incomplete, this one that was labeled incomplete, has more than the one that was labeled complete. So anyhow, I had said in the last video I was going to put one of them together myself so I could get a feel of the assembly before I tried to put another one on camera, do another one on camera. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do this one and create a video so you all can watch. And if you see anything I'm doing, if you have any questions, if you have one yourself that you're trying to put together, feel free to put in ask any questions in the comments. If I can answer, I certainly will. Pull all of this out here. See, the other one, none of the parts are wrapped in saran wrap. None of the parts were new. This pad looks brand new, but for the other one, since it didn't have a brand new pad, it had obviously been used and was worn. The magnetic mat is what I'm talking about. I ordered a glass bed, a Creality glass bed to put on it, and I put it on. I haven't used that one yet, but I put it on, and it seems to be working out. I think it's going to work out pretty well. And just dig everything out and spread it out here so I can see everything as I go. I think that'll probably be the easiest method for. I think that'll probably be the easiest method for assembly here. We'll see. We'll see. Throw this stuff over here for now. Power supply. Yeah, see this package that was labeled complete has this. It's just some filament and some extra little parts that go with it, and the other one didn't have any of that. It looks like everything else is pretty much the same, except there's going to be more assembly here. Like I said, the other one had been used, so it had some portion of it that was already assembled, which saved me time. But those portions are going to be things that now I will have to figure out how to put them together, which is fine. The more you know. I have this kind of sloppy instructions came with this one, the complete. Like as I said, the one that was labeled complete didn't have any instructions. So let's see here. All right, so I'll take these apart. First thing, man, they really have this wrapped up. They really have this wrapped up. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, I have a short that was just introducing the discount, the sale that I got on these, and then I had a video of the complete unboxing. Check out go back in my history and check that one out if you're interested. Also, I'd love if you subscribe and come back and watch. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this channel yet. So far, I'm just making some videos of some of the hobbies that I have, some of the tech stuff that I built or that I bought, and I don't know, just fun stuff for me. I just really wanted to get comfortable on camera and talking. It's a little awkward, I have to admit. It just feels a little strange, but okay, so this one, okay, so that's there. It's just a little bit awkward. Playing on camera for everyone. It's strange. Like right now, I'm here alone. There's no one else here. It's just me. So it feels like I'm just talking to myself, but once I get a little more comfortable on camera and comfortable with ideas and see what people like, I'll hone in on a specific topic for videos, maybe tech, I don't know, maybe fishing or hunting. We'll see. So that's not good. Those are the wrong screws right there. I don't know. There. It looks like I'm in a. These are the same as those. This is the backup kit that I got with this backup tool kit and parts kit. Like I said, it came with the incomplete, the one that was labeled incomplete, which rather shocked me because I sure wasn't expecting to have more in that one than the complete model. But I'm still not sure if absolutely everything is here. Enough to be able to put it all together, but that's what we're about to find out. It would really, man, it would just be a bummer to get all the way to the end and like, damn, if I just had this one more thing, I'd have this all together now. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If you sift through my channel and you find particular videos that you like, would like to see more of, please hit the like button. That's how I can tell what people are enjoying, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys like. I can make more of those, or more detailed videos of that subject, or more defined, whatever you guys would like to see. I'll try to do it. Now, someone asked me when I was making a video about my new the RX 6950 XT graphics card that I bought new. Someone had asked me if I would be the first one to disassemble that card so they could see the cooling system. I had to turn it down because I just don't feel confident enough in my skills. I just don't feel confident enough in my skills to be able to do that. To be able to do that, and I had just bought it, so I sure don't want to take a chance on getting it apart and not being able to get it back together, or not get it back together correctly. It's not as expensive as the NVIDIA cards, the 3090 Ti or whatever, but it's still quite expensive for my budget. Too much to just throw down the drain. I got that one for, what did I pay for that one? I got that one for MSRP, $1,099, $1,100. Like 2 days after that card released. So that was pretty cool. It's funny, if you go back and check that video, that graphics card had a sticker on it. Apparently at some point they were going to charge $2,100 for it. I was like, oh my gosh. I think that's what they were planning before the market bottomed out here. Maybe they were planning on selling it for $2,100, and then the market bottomed out, so there were graphics cards everywhere, for some even under MSRP. Alright, step 1 down. Step 2. Step 2 is the control panel. There are the screws for that right here. Right here. It's like they put a whole bunch of extra screws in this package. I'm not sure why. It's a little overkill, but I sure won't complain about extra parts. How am I going to do this? Alright, get that one started. Put this one on. I'm using my GoPro and I only have 2 batteries, so hopefully I can get done, and I think the batteries last about an hour each, maybe an hour and a half, I'm not sure, we'll see, but hopefully I'll have enough juice to get this video done. And after I get it together, I'll make maybe another video setting it up and adding, or a couple more maybe, adding some of the extras that I bought. For instance, I bought this I just got this today. It's oh, you see that? CR Touch self-leveling kit. So that ought to be pretty good, but I'm going to have to buy, I think I have to buy a different board. I think this takes that one has to have the upgraded control, or upgraded motherboard. I don't think it'll work with this standard stock board. Alright, got that. Power supply. Now, which screws did that one take? I think it takes these right here. If you're looking, all these screws are labeled black on the instructions. If your instructions are the same as mine, if you're putting this together, all of these screws are labeled black. But the ones putting the motherboard on, I don't know if you can see that, but they are silver screws, and there are only 2 of them. And the same with the screws that hold the control panel on. Just so you don't get confused, it's a short, fat, and it's silver. But as I said, the illustrations show all of them as black, but that's just not the case. That just isn't the case. It's obviously an artist's rendition. Artist's rendition of the real thing. And it's a little bit off. If you have this, if you do have this 3D printer and you're looking for help in getting it together, or if you're thinking about getting it, I can tell you this one, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple to put together. I have assembly experience. I've worked manufacturing most of my life. I worked for General Motors assembling trucks, SUVs for several years. I mean, I have a little bit of experience that might make the assembly a little easier for me, but I think it's nothing that anyone should be able to handle it. It's not really tough assembly. Crap, how am I gonna get that? That. I think this is new. They said it is incomplete, but I'm telling you, I think it has more. It needed. I don't really know how I'm gonna get that in here, but we'll figure it out. I don't know why they put that like that. There we go. There we go. Is that right? That looks better. There we go. I was a little tangled up there. A little bit tangled up. Alright, where am I now? Okay, I've got power supply. And I'm going to put the sensor, stop sensor, wherever that went. Stop sensor, stop switch, whatever we call it. Okay, let's pull all of this stuff out. I'm going to need it, so put the stop sensor. Limit switch, that's what it's called, limit switch. And it goes here on the, as you're facing the thing, this is the front control panel. The stop switch, limit switch goes on the left, to the left. To the left, to the left, to the right. So far, this is going pretty much as smoothly as last time. Now this, I'm not really sure. This has this limit switch. When you get to it, I'll show you. It has a little lip here that catches, and it seems as if you should put that on right on the rail here. But if I found that if you do that, when this zeroes, it will push down into your bed. Even if you have this really pulled down, it'll still push down into your bed. So I just lift it a little bit, maybe just I don't know what that is, maybe a 1/4 inch, 3 millimeters, however your unit of measurement. So I just lifted off that bed, and maybe like at the bottom of the plate and of the switch panel instead of where that lip is. Found that out on the last one. Then I was like cranking this table down, cranking the bed down all the way as tight as it would go, and it just didn't leave much room for adjustment. well, I need to just raise that a little bit, and it took me a few minutes fooling with it to get it just right, and then I added on that glass bed, and that of course made me have to raise it even further. Alright, so after that limit switch, we have spindle. Spindle just comes in a plastic tube here. It's a little bit greasy, and that attaches to this piece. See, it will slide down in here, tighten all of this down, and as this turns, that's what lifts your Z-axis up and down, up and down. Lifts and lowers your Z-axis. I think these are those. I think these are those that I'm looking for. Is that right? That's not right. Something's not right. Which screws? Oh, these flat screws. These are different. And two of one and one of another. That's strange. The third one is different. I don't know, I think that's an accident, maybe. Oh, is that how that goes? That's the goes in here. Maybe, I don't know, I can look that head in the way. Alright, so that one. That's weird to have that other screw, because here's another set of the same screws. These are longer, and then there's just this one in here that's shorter. I'm thinking that was an accident. It's a Chinese company, and I know, having worked for the Chinese in their manufacturing process, it's things can get hectic, and this some of the quality gets skipped sometimes. It's hard to pay attention to detail when you're being forced to put out parts quickly with short staff. But it's no big deal. At least it's an extra one and not one under, because we can deal with extra. Okay. When you're short one though, it becomes a whole different thing. Alright, spindle is on. Hopefully that works well. Now the last one I did, I put it all together, and then when the Z-axis would try to lower when it was homing, it would get stuck. And it would make noise, and it wouldn't go anywhere. I'd turn it like this, and then it would help it go, but something was wrong, so I just loosened everything back up after I had it all together. After I had the Z-axis attached to here and had all of it together, then I loosened this up, the spindle motor, and just let it fall. where it would, and then tightened it up, and it went up and down fine after that. All right, what do we have here? Okay, so I got hung up on this one before. I didn't pay attention, you know. Sometimes I've heard jokes about it that it's maybe a guy thing, but I don't want to be sexist about it. You get in a hurry to do something, and it's easy just to forget the instructions and tear into it. Then after the fact realize, well, maybe I should have paid attention to those instructions. At least I do it all the time. I do that all the time. Alright, so that goes there. We need the 16 millimeter screw. Are these 18? 18. Uh-oh. Did I find what is missing out of this kit? Don't tell me it's just going to be held up by 2 screws. Is this one? Oh, I bet this one. There it is, right here. Okay. There they are. I need 2 of those. This one took me a minute. It took me a minute to figure this one out. Okay, so I'll show you here. If you have this, look where it is. Okay, so here is the what is that called? Extruder guide, whatever, the filament guide. Okay, so if you have this in your hand and then this facing away, this was a little confusing. I couldn't figure out where to put this. I'm trying to stick it in here, over here. That's what she said, over here. And then it fits. Well, I think it does. Yeah, okay, so this is cut out. You can, not way off camera. Okay, so you can see this is cut here, and it's made to go right over this little screw here. Okay? So that's kind of inset, recessed, and it will only go this way. So it fits over this nut right here. And then another little bit of tricky part here is you have to take the screw, the little screw, and man, it's going to be hard to show here, I think, but there are 2 holes, 1, 2, and you have to get this screw inside of here, inside between here, right? So you have to get it inside there and push it through. Both of them. And it took me a little while to figure that out. I don't know why. Maybe I was just having a brain fart. I don't know. But so then, when you get this piece on here, just like I said, it sits there. There's the recessed screw. On the other side, it's not recessed. So it's recessed right here. So you set that nut, just like I showed you, right down in here. And then those screws will pop up, and there are 2 more holes in this side, over here on this side of this second plate, and that's where you reach in to get those screws tightened. You have to go through those holes in the second plate to get those screws tightened. It's a little, I mean, it's not super hard, and probably someone with just the slightest more half wit than me, half sense than me would figure that out easily, but for some reason I was struggled with that, trying to just figure it. Felt like a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, not like struggled, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give up on this, it's too hard, but I just, for some reason, I just couldn't make sense of that. Couldn't figure out where this rail went, and it didn't help the first time I had the wrong rail. That other rail, they look the same, and they're packaged together, but they are not the same. They're not the same rail. They don't have the same cutouts. That as well as I can there. Alright, so now we have that on, and at this point it calls for the pneumatic fitting right here to go right here. But when I get this all together, I have an aluminum feed, an aluminum guide here that I'm going to put on this. It's an upgrade, and I read a lot that this one breaks fairly easily, so I'm going to put an aluminum one on here. I bought an extra aluminum one, so I'm not going to waste my time assembling all of this right now, because I'm just going to disassemble it here in a few. But if you don't have that, this is where you put in the pneumatic tube, or pneumatic fitting. Step 6. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So I think sets like this. So I have the filament guide here, and I just look at this and hold it just like that with the filament guide up here, and there are two pulleys. Okay, so on those two pulleys on the top to slide straight in on there. I think, let me double check that. I think that's how we're going, just like that, and it sits down on here. As you can see, nice. As you can see. Okay, so this piece is the same. We have, again, this is inset right here, recessed, and this piece has a screw right here that fits down in that recess section. And then I think we use the same size of screws to hold this together. The same screws that we used over here, I believe. Yeah, it looks like the same screws, this 16 millimeter screw. There are 5 of those, and I think you only use 4, so like I said, it's always better to have extra screws and extra parts. Unless you have the extra parts at the end of finishing and you forgot the assemble part of it. Had that happen before too. So those are spare parts. Fall apart. A friend of mine, I told her I'd put her brake pads on for her. This was a couple of years ago. I got out there and it was hot, summer day, and my buddy come over and we started chit-chatting, talking, and had a few beers and just enjoying the summer and doing, a little bit of automotive work, fixing those brakes. Later on in the day, I was gone with my wife. We had gone out to eat or something, and I kept getting calls on my phone. She was burning my phone up. I'm like, what the heck is she calling me about? I got her car fixed. Well, we got home and she was there at the apartment, apparently in my in my lexical, the work that I was doing, I forgot to tighten up the caliper bolts that hold the darn thing on. One of them went flying on her. I felt so bad about that. She wasn't really mad, but it ended up costing her. She had to go out and get another bolt, and she wasn't able to drive. And I felt bad because she could have wrecked. Everybody lived and everybody survives. So. Let that be a lesson. Don't drink and do auto repair. Highly dangerous. You will forget something. And then somebody could get really hurt, potentially killed. Working on someone's car, that a lot can go wrong if their car doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So. Okay, so that is just a tensioner. I just tighten that tensioner up. It has you put the tensioner on, and then it says tighten. So look at this. Step 7 here, right? It says put the tensioner on, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says tighten. So it's telling you to tighten that tensioner now, but we don't even have the belt on because that doesn't come until the next step. I thought that was that made little to no sense. How would you tighten the tensioner before you even have the belt on? I tell you, it makes no sense, and that tensioner just fell right off, so apparently I didn't have it tightened down right. Did I put this on wrong? What? Oh, okay, so, alright, this one's a little tricky. You have to push it through here, right, so, I had a little bit of trick with this one last time, so you have to push it through this. Can you see? I get off the camera, I forget what I'm doing. Push it through the end there, push it through the end, pull it over here, and then, let's see if I can get that on camera. You want this belt to go in that little slot right there, and that will hold it. That slot will hold the belt because it has a buckler or whatever here on the end. So make sure, if you can see this belt, it has ridges on one side and it's smooth on the other. So when you run this through here, there's a pulley in here that has teeth. It has teeth. So you want to make sure that you have the rigid side on the against the teeth, because that's what actually is going to give it the drive. Give it its drive. That's what's going to drive it, is that that ridged pulley in there. What is that? Is that a cog or sprocket? I'm not sure what that's called. You get my drift. You understand what I mean? I think I made myself clear. All right. I also think this would be easier maybe to run the whole belt. I don't know. No, I guess you couldn't really do that, but it's kind of challenging. You have to get just the right angle to make it go. You have to get just the right angle to make it go down this groove and through under these wheels here. So I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. It just takes putting that on the right angle is all. It's not difficult. I don't want you to think it's difficult, because quite honestly, there's not really anything about this that's difficult. It's really difficult to do. All right, sorry about that. My battery, not my battery, I thought my battery went dead, but it actually turned out to be so I'm using the GoPro Hero 9, and I had read the only way to add an external microphone is through a media mod that they've made for it. It's their part. There's no adapter or no third-party equipment that I'm aware of that you can use to add an external mic. So you have to use this media mod. Well, it fully encases the camera, and if you may be familiar with it, but it overheats. So it overheats the camera, and that's what happened. It overheated my camera, so my audio may not be as good now because I don't have that microphone available. I have lost that now, which is kind of disappointing. Why is this sucker giving me such a hard time? I didn't have this much trouble the last time. This again. Okay, so we have it running through that sprocket, and I have to get it under these wheels, but to do that I have to turn it, right? Okay, there we go. So I didn't have that trouble the last time. That belt kept flipping over on me, and then I couldn't get it twisted back the right way. But I think I have it now, so maybe. Wow, this was way more.
I don't know that.
This was way more difficult than I was. I'm having more trouble with this for some reason than what I really should have. At all. It shouldn't have been nearly this. But for some reason it is, and what are you going to do? Alright, this sucker was giving me a hard time for some reason. Alright, so here's where we need that tensioner. Actually, I can just run this all the way around here and do the same with this side. Just stick it in that. See if you can see that. In that slot there. Stick it right there in that slot, she said. And then we'll, okay, so now I have to get the tensioner on. I had it on and then it fell off. I guess I didn't have it tight enough. don't think it has to be super tight, real tight, but if it slips, I'll know, and we'll have to tighten it back up. Put some more leverage in there, get a screwdriver maybe, and bend that, get some leverage inside there to where you can kind of push that tensioner out with a little more force. But I think that should be good. All right, now what? Belt on, tensioner on. This. Go like that. I think it goes like that, just like that. Okay. So again, you want this bar here. This is going to slide through right here. Okay. If you can see that, it's going to slide through right through here, and then this spindle will come through this brass ring right here. Hopefully, if all was right. If I did this right. If I did it right, I think that's the way it's supposed to work out. Okay. And that's it. Easy peasy. Check that out. Now again, when we get this through and get it started up, we may find that this needs adjusted here. I'll just loosen up these two screws here and kind of let it fall, and then tighten them again, and hopefully that will work as well as it did the last one. On the last one, I know you weren't here for that, but okay, those are. All right, so I'll just have this top piece. Again, this top bar, these are recessed. You'll see the recessed inset fittings there, or holes. So you know, and if you don't know, now you know. Takes these 4 screws. Normally I'd be working in my office. You guys have seen me in my studio office in other videos, but this was just, there's so much. I just don't have the room in there for this. I brought it out to the kitchen table. Forgive the kids, the grandkids pile of toys over there. While I set that up, it actually is pretty ingenious because they come in and they go right to that bookshelf and want to get into stuff, so she just put their stuff there so they can go right there and tear into it. Fairly convenient for everyone. Two grandkids that we kind of picked up. My daughter, her fiance has 2 daughters, fraternal twin girls, and they're just the most adorable thing. They're so much fun with them. So her fiance had 2 daughters, and kind of built-in family when he came. That was really wonderful. That was surely wonderful. All right, so which screws am I going to use here? I have a feeling it's going to be these 2 again. All right, so for this bracket, this is going to hold your spools up here, okay? So it takes, again, those little short, fat silver screws. They don't show them like that in the instructions. So this little short, fat screws, the same ones that we use to put on to install the control panel. So I'm going to put those in here and check this out. By this point, you should probably figured out how these slot screws work. But this was the first time the first time I did one of these, put one of these together, was the first time I had ever seen these. So I had no idea how they work. But you just put these little slot, I don't know what you call them, slot nuts. You put those on there. Keep them loose. I think if I have it right, I might have them upside down. So then have those on there and set that down in there, and then when you tighten them, they just automatically pull up tight, tighten themselves up. It's pretty wild. Pretty new concept. I know lots of you, if you're familiar with this sort of these sort of tech gadgets, I'm sure you've handled those before, but it was new to me because I'm new to all of this stuff. Had a lot more time off of work than what I really was comfortable with. I was a little stir crazy, so I decided to start this channel and gathered a huge collection of tech stuff, hobby stuff to keep me busy. Stuff that I had never really worked with before, like 3D printers, for instance. 3D printers, audio equipment, recording equipment, mixer in there, studio monitors, all the stuff I had never messed with or owned before this time off of work. They have these little plastic end caps here. I mean, they're for aesthetic purpose, I guess. Pop those on there. Not really necessary, I don't think, but hide those exposed ends there. Okay, so we got that. I think we're about done. We just gotta plug it up. Oh, I forgot about this. Dang. Come off of there, you sucker. There we go. And that'll hold the spool of filament. Which is pretty cool. All right, so we have I should pull that cord out first. I have to pull the power supply cord out. That's this black and red cord. Black and red. Stick those together. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Nothing to it. All right. These get to be a little bit more. We have 2 X's and a Z, I think, here. 2 X's and an E. So here on the instructions, you'll see where they go. So the E, maybe, can I see? I think the E goes here. Alright, as you'll see, let me make sure this is on. So you'll see we're in a different resolution now. The GoPro, again, overheated. It's a GoPro Hero 9, and this is the most I've used it. And I'm going to have to say I am not real satisfied with it. I thought it was just the media mod, but I was just running it with no cover at all, not even a battery cover, and it overheated again. So I may end up having to send that back. I've had it a little over a year. All right, so anyhow, we have these. This is the longer cable, and there are 3 here, the E and 2 X's. Okay, so the E, I believe, is going to go right here. If you can see that, I have no more monitor on the. I can't tell. So that goes right in. Can't tell if you can see that or not. I think so, but right in the this extruder guide motor. So that's the E, and then the one labeled X has got to go some. Oh, okay. So the wide one labeled X goes right here, just next to it. So that's simple enough. Right here next to it, up underneath. It's underneath here. This motor here. That's the, I guess, the drive motor for those. Is that a drive motor? I'm not really sure, but. And then we have another X. And where does this X go? Oh, is this X? Yeah, another X. EXX. Oh, that's right. This one. Okay, so this one goes inside where your the belt drive goes through on this sprocket, this pulley in here. There's one inside there. You have to kind of guide it a little bit and maybe have better eyes than what I do to get in there and get it. I may have to dig out my glasses for the first time. Okay, I think I got it there. There we go. Okay, so that locks. It's inside this hole right here, right in here. If you can see that. X, and then a couple more here, maybe one more. Z. Is this Z? This is Z. So Z goes right here in the spindle motor. Easy enough. You'll see when you have this, all of the cables and all of these plugs are almost right where they need to be. Once you have the first one, the rest of them just fall right into place because they're located pretty much right where they need to be. And then this one goes into the limit switch here. So that one slides up into the limit switch. That is Z as well. And that, my friend, I believe, is it. Nothing to it, right? It doesn't take long. It took a little bit longer because I like to sit around and bullshit. Oh, I forgot about this one. The rainbow cable. Rainbow cable slides into 3. I believe it's number 3. EXP3 right in the control panel right here. You'll see it. EXP3. There's 3 different slots. EXP3. Let me make sure that that's what I got. Put glasses on. 1, 2, and 3. That's right. So EXP3. And that is good. Good. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Look at that. That didn't take any time at all. There's hardly any hassle. Oh, I'll do this, and then later on I'll show you how we're going to upgrade this Bowden tube, okay? I wasn't going to do this, but we'll go ahead and do it. And then later I can make another video showing you the upgrade for all of this. Where did that pneumatic? What do I do with that pneumatic fitting? Darn it. Well, shoot. Oh, let's see. Well, I'll leave that part out, but basically you just stuff this tube inside this pneumatic fitting here. Pull it out so it can go in, let it go. That's it. Or push it down, I think, and slide it in and let it go. I didn't want to do that because I'm changing this tube out for one that, what is it, Capricorn, Bowden 2 or Bowden, whatever it's called, I'm not sure. It's supposed to take higher heat. It has higher heat resistance, and it seems like it might be a little more flexible, but it's certainly more heavy duty. So I'm going to change that out, and I'll make another video doing that. And then also, when I do that, I'm going to change out this filament guide. We had talked about that. I have an aluminum one, so I'm going to change both of those things out, and I'll make a video showing you how to do that. But that's later, so I don't really need this in right now, just because I'm just checking to make sure that it works. Because as I said, if you remember in the beginning, I said this was the open box item that I bought that said it was incomplete. And as you can see, everything was here. Everything was brand new. So I don't know why it was labeled as incomplete, because it actually had plenty of extra items. We have some pneumatic fittings there. Have an extra belt, lots of extra screws, extra end caps, and a whole extra toolkit, the complete extra toolkit. So I don't know why it said incomplete, because it was definitely complete. It's over complete. All right, the moment of truth. Moment of truth. And we have it. Bring this over here. Oh, lost it all together. So you can see this. Okay, so we'll see what happens here when I hit that. I want to just bring it in. Oh, okay, auto home. This board is different than the other one that was. So on auto home, let's see what happens. The worst that's going to happen is it's not hot, I don't think. No, so it won't burn down into my table. It's really slow, huh? Let's see if I can get this camera down here. Just take it right off of there. See what happens when it gets down here. Is it going to hit the table? I don't think so, because I put this limit switch a little bit higher than what it called for. So yeah, you can see there's plenty of room there. So I'll work on this and adjust. I'll make adjustments here and get that just right where I want it for this. But yeah, that's all there is to it. As you can see, it's really not difficult. Some of these, let's see if I can even see that. Some of these I think have a USB-C, and then some of them have the old style USB where it has to go, the mini USB where it has to go one way. Okay, so it has a US, some of these have USB and some of them have a the old style mini USB. I can't really tell what that is from here, and my eyes are so poor. I have to get some light on it and check it out, but it depends on, I think, on what model year you got it, or how old the one you have is. I'm pretty sure this is USB-C. You can probably see it better than I can at this point. I'm pretty sure that's USB-C, and I think the other one that I had, it was an older one, and as I said, it had been used, and I'm almost positive it's a USB mini. So I have to dig up a USB mini cord from somewhere. I have no idea. I haven't used one of those in a while, but I'll come up with one. Yeah, so that's it. As you can see, we put it together in what, 30, 40 minutes maybe, if that. It's not bad at all. If you got anything out of this, please like this. Subscribe to my channel. There'll be more like this coming. Like I said, I'm new to YouTube, new to making videos. I'm just getting comfortable with it. Right now it isn't greatly comfortable, but it'll get better, and I'll bring you better content. So yeah, if you have anything you'd like to say, just leave it in the comments, and I'll surely reply to you. Take care.